And we have our very first decision from the United States Supreme Court on one of the many cases filed against the Trump administration. This is the Dellinger case, and that was one of our super cases I told you to keep your eyes on. The U.S. Supreme Court did set out a decision today on that case. If you're looking for it, it's number 24A790, and it's Besant versus Dellinger. So special counsel of the Office of Special Counsel, which is in the executive branch. This isn't like the Jack Smith special counsel. This is like a whistleblower. We're making sure everybody's following the rules special counsel. And the fella that was in charge of it was fired. And then they're trying to pull the agency apart. So they had a temporary restraining order put on them. And Mr. Trump's team then appealed. And the Court of Appeals said, no, you need this restraining order, man. We got to get this stuff sorted out. So he appealed again. Writ of certiorari was in, and the U.S. Supreme Court has issued this order. On application to vacate the order issued by the United States District Court for the District of Columbia, February 21st, this matter concerns the president's action to remove Hampton Dellinger from his position as special counsel for the Office of Special Counsel. Dellinger challenged his without cause removal in the District Court for the District of Columbia. On February 12th of 2025, the District Court entered a temporary restraining order, TRO, providing that Dellinger should remain in office until the court ruled on his motion for a preliminary injunction. The District Court has scheduled a hearing on that motion for February 26th, the day that the TRO expires. Pending before this court is the government's application to vacate the TRO. Dellinger has filed a response in opposition. The government then filed a reply. The question is thus fully briefed before this court. Although it acknowledges that this court typically does not have appellate jurisdiction under TROs, the government urges us to construe the TRO as a preliminary injunction or to exercise jurisdiction under the All Writs Act in light of the core executive power assertedly restrained. In his opposition, Dellinger repeatedly notes that the TRO will expire by its terms in 8, now 5 days. That it lasts only for a very short duration, and that it is set to expire on February 26th. In light of the foregoing, the application to vacate the order of the United States District Court for the District of Columbia presented to the Chief Justice and him referred to the court is held in abeyance until February 26th, when the TRO is set to expire, meaning it's paused. They're not going to make a decision because it's going to expire. Justice Sotomayor and Justice Jackson would deny the application outright. So we're missing Justice Kagan on that. Justice Gorsuch, with whom Justice Alito joins, dissenting from the order holding the application in abeyance. Justice Gorsuch did write out a few pages on what his thoughts are on the situation. And again, it's a dissent, so you can get some idea of where Justice Gorsuch and Alito are coming from. But dissents are dissents. They're not the majority opinion. So you can feel free to go check that out if you're interested. But there you have it, everybody. The very first case in a whole line of cases where they're challenging Trump's administration because he did something they believe was unlawful, was unconstitutional. And Mr. Dellinger, unfortunately, was harmed because of that. So right now they're going to pause any ruling on the TRO, meaning that the lower court's decision stands, meaning that Mr. Dellinger needs to continue on in his position. And we're going to need to wait until that preliminary injunction piece is argued out in court. Again, this TRO is very temporary and is supposed to be expiring within the next few days. So for the U.S. Supreme Court to say, well, we're not going to listen to this, we got stuff to do, makes a lot of sense. And I think I would have been surprised if they had actually granted the motion so that they could hear arguments on this issue. I would have been surprised, and not much surprises me out of this U.S. Supreme Court anymore. So there you have it. We've got this decision just out of the Supreme Court today, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on all the rest of the cases and see what the next one will be that makes it up to SCOTUS. This is a loss for the Trump administration. They're probably not very happy about it, but that's too bad. We've got rules here and the Constitution. You know, you got to You can follow that stuff.